This is one of our coffee chat videos, of course, and taking advantage to say hi to James at Loads of Bacon and to Dave over at Thorzak's. But anyway, this 777 is something that a lot of shooters may not give much thought to, but if you're really having a problem getting pistol powder right now, you can get Hodgdon 777 as we speak. Now, of course, we can't load this like smokeless. We've got to have zero powder space behind the bullet. You got to fill the whole powder space with Hodgdon 777, and you can have a little bit of compression, but no airspace. We can do airspace anytime we want with smokeless powder, but not with black powder substitutes or black powder. So keep that airspace out of there, and this is a great powder to use. Now, I just got these four from Midway USA, and I believe it was like $33 a pound, so it's a little bit on the pricey side, but that's what powder is going for now if you can find it. Turns out that you can load, say for example, 250 45 Colts with 1 pound of this powder. So with four, I got enough to load 1,000 rounds. That'll keep me shooting for a little while. But you might ask, but fortune cookie, Hodgdon has a warning against using this 777 in cartridges. But the reason why is because, say for example, with 3FG, it's a little finer, so you get more powder into the cartridge, and therefore a little more power. But the problem is old revolvers might not like that because 777 has more power than black powder. This is easy to demonstrate with a chronograph. More power, more velocity, a little more pressure. So older revolvers shouldn't use Hodgdon 777. Use black powder instead. But that's part of the reason why Hodgdon doesn't want 777 used in cartridges. The other reason why is with 3FG being a little finer, it has even a little bit more power. So the only loads that Hodgdon lists is with 2FG, because bigger granule size, less powder in the case, a little less power, a little less pressure. But I've shot the 777 a lot now in all kinds of cartridges. Works great. Especially with modern revolvers like Ruger single actions, works just fine. So you gotta take a little grain of salt from what the reviews on Midway USA are with 777 powder when asked if it could be used in, say, the 357 Magnum case. The replies were uniformly no, you can't use it, don't use it. But we should remember that the 38 Special was originally a black powder cartridge, and the 357 Magnum, being a little bit longer by 1/10 of an inch, just a little more powder goes in there. It's just like they wanted a little more power than the 4570. They made it a little longer and made the 4590. I've already shot this powder in the 357 Magnum cases and also in 4570 cases with the bullets seated farther out so you can get more powder in the case. Works fine. And the pressures are very nicely moderate with the primer signs and the functioning that we're getting with our brass. Now, speaking of brass, you know how we dump our fired brass into a container until we get enough of these containers together to throw into our wet tumbler and tumble them all in the wet tumbling and get them all factory new again? Well, this is fired 45 Colt brass, as you can see here. This has been building up for about 3 months, and you see the brass is just fine. Fired with smokeless, you don't have to really do anything with it. It's going to be good and waiting patiently for us to wet tumble. That doesn't work with brass that's been fired with 777. Let me show you. Here's an example of a 45 Colt casing fired with 777 powder and left alone for 3 months. You see the corrosion? A lot of corrosion on this case. So we don't want to leave it alone. What a good practice is is to take our fired brass home from the range and throw it into water to neutralize the residue. So here are some examples of fired 777 cases brought back from the range, thrown into water for a couple days, and then rinsed off and then allowed to dry, and this is what you get. But that's not really corrosion. That's just a little bit of residue that's not harming the brass. We just go ahead and wipe that off, or we can wet tumble these. They'll look like new. Now, I did a video on the wet tumbling of the brass that was fired with the Hodgdon 777, and it looks like factory new. At any rate, these are the same 4 cases, just wiped off and a brush run inside the necks. You see, they look very presentable. And as we said, if you wet tumble these, they'll look even better. But they could be reloaded just as they are right now. Now, because of the efficiency and power provided by Hodgdon 777, it's been regarded as perhaps the finest propellant for black powder guns. Now, you may disagree because there are some out there that really love the pure black powder, but you get much more performance with Hodgdon 777. Easier cleanup, and now there's good availability. So right now you can go ahead and buy some of this. I don't know how much Midway USA has, but when I bought these 4, it didn't finish off their supply. They've got more. So if you need some powder and you want to try something new and it's just a hoot to shoot this stuff, you might want to give Hodgdon 777 a try. Right now, as we speak, available from Midway USA. Bye for now.